Imagine this. You wake up by a small campfire on a planet in a galaxy worlds away. You're a rookie space cadet and today's the day of your first launch. Your ship is fueled and primed for takeoff. You're your own captain and crew with no set objectives or missions. The journey before you is only limited by the curiosity you have to explore the outer wilds, its planets, and the secrets of the Nomai, an ancient alien race that existed in your solar system for hundreds of millennia before your species even began walking on land. After saying farewell to your friends, you dispatch into orbit. In the midst of the day you had been looking forward to your entire life, the sun suddenly turns blue, going supernova. Before you realize it, the white light is soon swallowing everything around you, and a pool of memories flood your head. Then your vision goes dark. Suddenly, you wake up by the same small campfire on the first day of your launch. This is essentially the campaign of a small game called Outer Wilds, my personal favorite video game, which I've played a number of times and really never seem to get bored of. In this game, you follow the POV of an unnamed pilot that is given the ability to live in a time loop where the universe is a ticking time bomb. It's a video game that instead of action and combat, the main focus is discovery and uncovering the truths about your universe through exploration of your solar system in 22-minute segments before the sun explodes, and you are reset back to the start with nothing except the knowledge you obtained previously. While this is a relatively small game that doesn't get a lot of attention, I'm here to explain why Outer Wilds is a great metaphor for life and how it teaches you why you shouldn't fear the end. The journey is often better than the destination, and it's about the friends we made along the way. Very simple and generic themes that are rooted in Outer Wilds. However, the game doesn't spell this all out for you. In fact, the entirety of the game really has no bounds or limits. There isn't a check sheet or itinerary leading you anywhere. The game blends a fascinating system of planets with a sporadic trace of ancient writings from an extinct alien species that has you crossing through all different planets and biomes, solving puzzles to figure out how to stop the sun from exploding. But how exactly does Outer Wilds accomplish this on the gameplay level?
Players pay more attention when the story is relevant to their immediate experience. We do this happens throughout the game, but there's this really good example on Ember Twin where you're following Nomai Techs, this path they took from their crashed escape pod to the Sunless City where they eventually rebuilt sort of their society. And the text is giving you direct clues on how to follow this path. And they say, we must hurry because the pathway there is filling with sand. Don't allow yourself to become buried by sand and make sure no one is lost. And the player looks to their right and they're like, oh yeah, it is filling with sand. I should also hurry. When players feel like they are experiencing the same thing as the embedded narrative they're reading about, we notice that they would pay a lot more attention to that narrative, which is also giving them other clues they need to pay attention to.
So really, you're using echoes of the past to guide yourself through dangerous twists and turns to further understand what's going on with the time loop and the sun exploding. After some hours you put into the game, you'll soon begin to get used to the loop of death, dying countless times, whether it be to being crushed by the stalagmites on Ember Twin, or getting pulled into the sun, or getting eaten by a giant anglerfish in dark bramble. Dying and restarting becomes second nature, almost like an afterthought. Though, as you begin to uncover more and more on the Nomai, using their inquiries and technology from a bygone age to put more of the pieces of the puzzle together, you soon learn your mission, your purpose, might not to be to save the universe from ending after all. After unraveling these mysteries, it becomes apparent that the supernova really is inevitable, and what was originally a journey to find answers as to how to prevent the destruction of the world now becomes a question of survival, or so you think. It's important to understand that at this point in the game, there are no rewards, no special gear or equipment earned. Everything is the same from start to finish. The reward is the story, an important motif in this game. Learning and figuring out what's happening to your galaxy and to get players to this point really is a testament to the game's writing. Outer Wilds does a great job with its non-linear storytelling. There's so many pieces of information and knowledge scattered across the 9 planets. Only by discovering all the traces of the Nomai inquiries and anthology can you begin to start connecting the dots and look at the bigger picture. Ultimately, you'll discover that the world on that day you wake up for launch is the last day in your world's history. More importantly, it's been the end for a long time. Through playing the campaign, you learn through your character's POV that the world has been blown up again and again for the past 100,000 years, and you alone hold the keys to the universe's mortality. On the topic of mortality, here's a quote from one of the game's NPCs, Gabbro, a fellow astronaut you meet on the planet Giant's Deep, explaining the decision of letting go in a thoughtful way. The past is the past, but that's okay. The past may be behind us, but it's never truly gone. The future is built on the actions of the past. Past, future, present, they're all connected and all contribute to one another. Neil Armstrong might have been the first person to step foot on the moon, but without the hard work of the people behind the scenes, that wouldn't have been accomplished. Thousands of years of evolution and curiosity led to the levels and levels of novelty and breakthroughs, which is subsequently how Neil found himself on the moon, which is why it was a small step for himself, but in reality a giant footprint of all of mankind's aptitude to be curious of the world around them. So this quote is a great look on the drive of humanity, and it serves as a positive perspective of death. Without giving away too much, the ending of the game basically requires you to break this trend of living the same day over and over again and risk your own immortality to let nature run its natural course. A quote from the game's creator, Alex Beecham, breaks down why this is crucial. The planets will move, the universe will get on without you. It's only by inserting yourself to the gears of this clockwork world that you'll get anywhere. Life isn't just a spectacle. It can be immersive too, but you can't just stand by and watch. The world doesn't wait around for you. I feel this notion parallels the player's experience in the game. Near the end of play, it's clear that the protagonist, along with all the people and friends you made along the way in the game, won't make it. There's no final boss, no playback. All you have left is the satisfaction that you led the course of your world to rest, allowing new worlds and new generations to blossom in the future. And you could only do this by taking things slow and traveling and absorbing the information and cultures of other travelers you met and learned from to put all this together to fulfill your purpose. So by being present in the world and using the life you've been given to the fullest, could you solve the puzzle. By the end you realized that death was always inevitable. It was just a matter of when, and there was no winning against it. I feel in this way, the style of play reflects how your own curiosity invokes your own purpose and motivation in life. A quote from one of the game's developers sums this idea up pretty well. For Outer Wilds, we decided this was going to be a game about exploration. You were going into space because you are curious. You need to know the answers, but you're probably going to die there. So that sort of reinforces the notion that you have to overcome obstacles to find the answers you are seeking for, and you can't just walk around on the surface level and expect to find them. I feel this is a great lesson for life, that all your experiences and adventures you invested with your time here are limited only by your choice to be curious about the world around you. You can't rush the game if it's your first playthrough. Outer Wilds forces you into discovery of the strange new world you find yourself playing in. Bringing about the end of the universe is not what you wanted to happen, but it's rewarding nonetheless because all the hard work and special moments the players experience and the novelty of discovery and learning make it worth it in the end, leaving the player satisfied. Outer Wilds teaches you that there's always life and death, and when one door closes, another one opens. The protagonists at the end of the story won't have a home to go back to. They can provide a new home to a future species by ending the cycle and allowing there to be a new life to take its place years later, as shown in the finale of the game. While on the surface level, Outer Wilds may seem like a rudimentary indie game, but it really acts as an important life lesson on the value of living and why you shouldn't fear death and embrace the life you've been given to the fullest. Through its intricate world of puzzles, clues, and mysteries found through the trailblazing space exploration, Outer Wilds teaches you to be curious about anything and everything because those garner new experiences, which in turn lead you to making lots of great memories. No one knows how far life will take them or where it will take them, but that shouldn't be scary. It should be exciting, and I feel Outer Wilds captures the essence of this message to a T.